केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 434 days ago, India was counting its dead. 26 innocent civilians were massacred by Pakistan-bred terrorists. India responded with Operation Sindoor and sent an unequivocal message to Pakistan. Terror will invite consequences. Now, 434 days later, the conversation has come a full circle. 117 people, 61 from India, 56 from Pakistan, have signed an open letter urging the Prime Ministers of both countries to revive diplomatic ties. They want the two nations to choose engagement over isolation, dialogue over hostility, and cooperation over confrontation. Among the Indian signatories are politicians like Farooq Abdullah, Mehbooba Mufti, Saifuddin Soz, and separatists like Mirwais Umar Farooq. The appeal speaks of peace, of humanity, of a shared future for 2 billion people. They ask if US and Iran can come to the table, why can't India and Pakistan?
अगर ईरान और अमेरिका मेज पे आ सकते हैं तो हिंदुस्तान और पाकिस्तान भी मेज पे आ सकते हैं, क्योंकि जंगों से मसले हल नहीं होते। जो मसले हल होते हैं वो जो है बातचीत से होते हैं।
Now viewers, peace is a noble objective. But can we simply turn our backs on 26 bodies? I mean, where was this collective call for peace when 26 innocents were being hunted down? Where was this open letter when the nation was mourning its own? When families were lighting funeral pyres, when orphan kids were shedding tears? Shouldn't Pakistan first dismantle the terror factories from its soil before daring to seek normal ties? So before anyone asks India to forget, let's remember what hasn't changed. Just days ago, videos from the funeral of former Pakistani cricketer Shoaib Akhtar's brother showed senior leaders of the Lashkar-e-Toiba, including its deputy chief Saifullah Kasuri, in attendance. That is the uncomfortable reality. Reality that India is being asked to forget and ignore. Not just by the Pakistanis, but by our own people, writing a joint letter. For what? For India to initiate dialogue.
The Prime Minister Modi should have a discussion. The Pakistan policy, like foreign policy, whether it's China, whether it's Pakistan, this has to be discussed with opposition parties.
महात्मा गांधी का मानना होता था हमेशा से कि राज्य और वहां के नागरिकों में एक फर्क हमें करना होगा। हम पीपल टू पीपल जो एक कांटेक्ट है उसकी बहाली करें।
So Pakistan hasn't changed at all. Pakistan apologists in India haven't changed either. So why is Terroristan suddenly talking peace? Because one thing has changed: the status of the Indus Water Treaty. After decades of bleeding India by 1,000 cuts, Pakistan has finally been hit where it hurts the most. As India turned the Indus taps off, more than 80% of Pakistan is reeling under the impact. That explains Pakistan's increasingly desperate rhetoric. Pakistan's former Foreign Minister Hina Rabani Khar is lecturing India on international law. Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif is threatening war, and Pakistan's Climate Minister Musaddiq Malik is warning to chop off our hands, and we should still talk peace? Those accused by the BJP of acting as Pakistan's apologists have now turned the tables. Their target, the RSS. The opposition points to remarks by Mohan Bhagwat and Dattatreya Hospole and highlights how the Sangh itself is advocating dialogue with Pakistan. The RSS, however, has called it a complete misinterpretation. It says Sangh is not asking the government of India to resume talks. What it wants is to maintain people-to-people contact. But can one really separate the Pakistani people from a state that sponsors cross-border terror? Or has the opposition deliberately blurred the distinction between people-to-people contact and official diplomacy to create a controversy once again?
We are not like Hitler. That is not our nature. That is not our way. So we have to keep some door open. We have to keep the scope open.
The security and self-respect of a country and a nation has to be protected, and the government of the day should take note of it and take care of it. But at the same time, we need not close the doors. We should always be ready to engage them in dialogue.
Well, PDP's agenda has always been that Jammu Kashmir, which has become a bone of contention between our country and Pakistan, has to become a bridge between the two sides. And I'm happy that, RSS senior leadership like Hosbole and then Mohan Bhagwat, they have also endorsed this stand that, there has to be a dialogue between the two sides.
Rumours of a thaw in India's stance were also sparked by reports of a Track 2 meeting in Colombo involving retired Indian and Pakistani diplomats, military veterans and civil society representatives. The government, however, was quick to pour cold water on those claims. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri made it clear they were private meetings involving private individuals and neither have official backing nor policy significance.
Dozens of these kinds of events take place in dozens of places around the world on a whole variety of subjects. So there's nothing new, nothing special about these events. As far as we are concerned, these are private events organized by private parties.
In his first address to the nation after Operation Sindoor, Prime Minister's message was unequivocal. Terror and talks cannot go together. Blood and water cannot flow together.
भारत ने तय कर लिया है खून और पानी एक साथ नहीं बहेंगे। अब देशवासियों को भली भांति पता चला है कि सिंधु का समझौता कितना अन्यायपूर्ण है, कितना एक तरफा है। ये ऐसा समझौता था जिसने पिछले 7 दशक से मेरे देश के किसानों का अकल्पनीय नुकसान किया है।
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Have those batting for talks with Pakistan forgotten Pahalgam? That's the question and that's the debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, Sushant Sareen, senior fellow at the ORF, Ratan Sharda, author, has written on the RSS, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, Tausif Shah, leader of the PDP, Tausif Ahmed Khan, signatory and lawyer, joining us live from Kolkata. But my first question to Sanjay Jha, Congress leader. And Sanjay Jha, I want to ask you, is this time already to forget Pahalgam? Is that what these signatories actually want us to do? Has Pakistan paid the price of killing 26 Indians in the manner that they did in Pahalgam? That's the only question that is relevant over here. And suddenly a joint letter, Indian citizens, Pakistani citizens, common platform. Why? What has changed between India and Pakistan that suddenly Aman Ki Asha is raising its head again?
Navika, good evening to you. The truth is that I find the Narendra Modi government frankly hypocritical and one that indulges in mendacity in broad daylight. It is so inconsistent in foreign policy, the world is aware of it at the moment. We were chest thumping as normal, and suddenly India was playing cricket with Pakistan. I mean, frankly, I was astonished. Here was a government that was making a lot of these muscular macho sounds, but to make money by the side for BCCI, etc., it had no problem playing cricket with Pakistan. It went through this very silly theatric that we will not shake hands, but for God's sake, you were playing a game that was bringing the moolah for the BCCI and the ICC. It was a shameless manifestation of the hypocrisy of this government. Nobody is saying that the Pakistan is not a difficult or a complicated or a complex neighbor. Has it sponsored terror? Absolutely. But look at where India's foreign policy has gone over the last, since Operation Sindoor, since Donald Trump humiliated India on a multiple of occasions, and Mr. Modi not even once had the courage or the sheer conviction to tell Donald Trump on his face, you had no hand in breaking the ceasefire. The consequences have been terrible for India. And I can tell you that there are Sushant, etc. there, and if they choose to be dispassionate, they will all have to agree that today Pakistan has not just outnumbered us in the information war on Operation Sindoor. Today Pakistan is sitting as a global troubleshooter, getting global recognition on the highest table of diplomatic negotiations on the West Asia war, while Mr. Modi is still running around trying to fix LPG and kerosene and diesel. So India has been marginalized. This government's foreign policy is an F, capital F. It's been a complete disaster. And as far as engagement is with Pakistan is concerned, I will for a change agree with the RSS that engagement is not appeasement. The truth remains that we are now no longer fighting.
Sanjay Jha have called the foreign policy of the government inconsistent. What you are saying, I found 3 inconsistencies already. Anand Ranganathan, he says the government plays cricket but bans water. Let me ask them, Donald Trump ka naam lete hai, they say they go and name avenue, Donald Trump Avenue in a state ruled by the Congress party. Suddenly the Congress party thinks that Donald Trump is great and there should be an avenue in his name. They talk about the fact that they agree with RSS in resuming conversation. Till yesterday they were raising questions about Operation Sindoor facts and figures that were presented in Parliament. But why can't they decide whether they are on this side or that side? Or is it wherever there is scope for politics, just jump in, and whether it is logical or not, just make politics?
Good evening, Navika. I'm sure when you say why can't they decide they are on this side or that side, I hope you don't mean why can't they decide they are on this side of the border or that side of the border.
Actually, if you ask me, Anand Ranganathan, you know, Indians and Pakistanis both writing joint letters, a coordinated effort, frankly sickens me. And I'm a votary of peace. I'm a votary of peace. But this sickens me, especially in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor. I don't know how everybody else reacts to it.
You are absolutely right. Who in his sane mind would not want peace? But the only issue is, could one talk peace with, for example, Osama bin Laden? How can we talk peace with a terror state of Pakistan? And I think one of the reasons why Congress is miffed, I dare say, is because of all the steps that it was cowardly to take when it was in power, including bombing the terror hideouts as pleaded to it by the then air chief after 26/11, including the fact that they were pleadings to not return the 93,000 POWs without getting something tangible in return, including the fact that the Congress gave away POK despite objections of Sardar Patel not to take the whole matter to the United Nations, including the fact that we gave away our airspace over Hajipir, including the fact that we gave away 80% of our water unilaterally in one of the most disastrous treaties ever signed by India, by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1960. So when you have 5 or 6 decisions that Congress has taken literally to sell India's land, water and air, and you see Modi upturning them, fighting for the sovereignty and integrity and security of this country, it is not a surprise to me that Congress would be miffed. And that is why I say that let all those people talk about peace and everything, but till such time Pakistan remains a terror state, and it has not just remained a terror state, it has increased its capabilities of perpetrating terror. We should have absolutely no reason whatsoever to talk to Pakistan. In fact, I am so glad that not just the Indus Water Treaty was put in abeyance by Narendra Modi, which I believe is independent India's greatest decision and certainly his greatest decision. The fact is we are working at a breakneck accelerated pace to maintain our side of the water resources. Be it the deep of Salal power station or Balighar or Dulhasti, be it fast tracking of multiple hydropower and storage projects, we are making sure that our water remains with us, whatever was legitimately.
Absolutely. And just when they do a conference lamenting the lack of water to try and show India as inhuman, suddenly there are hearts that are bleeding in India. They press the button and Indians have bleeding hearts. I want to ask Tausif Shah. Tausif Shah, it's not that I don't agree with anything Sanjay Jha says. Of course, I believe that India lost the narrative war in Operation Sindoor. Absolutely, we did. Despite having an upper hand, we did lose the narrative war. But that is not to say that we have to give, space to Pakistani people to come and tell us what we should be doing. How many people shed tears for the 26 Indians who were killed brutally in Pahalgam? What has changed between then and now for us to suddenly begin that Pakistan has changed and therefore we should resume dialogues? What has changed, sir?
Navika, very good evening. Thanks for calling me, giving me time on the show. Look, I just want to tell you very simple, straightforward line. We are speaking the language of the border residents, the soldiers' family, the technical students, the traders, and every Indian who knows that national security is not a TV slogan. And a strong India does not fear dialogue. A strong India sets the terms of dialogue. We know that terror is rewarded when we allow terrorists to dictate our country's foreign policy. If terrorists want India and Pakistan permanently at war, then refusing all dialogues gives them exactly the veto they want. So yes, we agree that Pakistan must obviously first act against the terrorism.
You are assuming that terrorists are different from the Pakistani state. I think that is where the fundamental problem is.
That's what I'm saying, that we agree that Pakistan must first act against what they sponsor terrorism.
How many times have they done that in the last 78 years, Sushant Sharif? इनको जो सपने आ रहे हैं, वो क्यों आ रहे हैं? How many times has the Pakistani state acted against terrorists? Even the United States went and found Osama bin Laden. Where? I mean, are we going back to kindergarten with our lessons, or have we learned something after Pahalgam?
Navika, I think some people have learned, but there are some people which I would call the fifth column of India, because especially these people, who have signed on this letter, and it is scandalous what they have signed. If it were up to me, I would stop the pensions of people who've been in government or who have served as legislators, simply because this is the Pakistani talking agenda, and they've just rubber stamped it. What is it about what India wants, what India needs? Has the word terrorism even been mentioned? They've said security concerns. Security concerns can be anything. The gentleman who was speaking before me believes that terrorists are autonomous elements, that they behave autonomous of the Pakistani government, and India should continue to talk to Pakistan despite, this thing, because otherwise the terrorists, which is the Pakistan army and the Pakistani state, will continue to dictate the agenda. Now, this is a catch-22 situation. That means I keep getting killed, my people keep getting killed, and you keep asking, Navika, what about Pahalgam? Frankly speaking, these 61 odd luminaries don't give a damn about Pahalgam. When they were in service, they didn't give a damn about people who died. So for them, that is just a statistic, because none of their family members have ever died. So they don't give a damn. So forget about these guys. But two things on what Sanjay was saying before I come to the crux of my argument. One, Sanjay, I think Trump has not humiliated India, he's humiliated America. He has signed 2 surrender documents, one in Afghanistan in his first term and one with Iran in his second term. Now, if that is not humiliation and dismantling of the American empire, I don't know what is, but that is Trump. Good luck to him. Second, and I think this is important, yes, Modi might be running around for getting LPG and getting LPG supplies, which is exactly what he should be doing. That is his job as the Prime Minister of India, to ensure that he can get energy supplies for the people of this country. It is not his job to try and go and make peace in some part of the world, where in any case that's a very temporary phenomena. Let us wait and see how it plays out. But Navika, let me come to the crux of this letter. First and foremost, this letter is addressed to two prime ministers. Now, there's one prime minister who's empowered, and the other guy is a chapadasi, right? Ideally, they should have addressed it to Asim Munir. I don't know why they didn't do it. Second, these guys, I want to know from the Pakistani signatories, do they repudiate Asim Munir and his take on Hindus and Muslims? I don't know which of these guys will have the testicular fortitude to be able to do that. But it's very easy to, pontificate to India, but not do anything on their own country. Number three, all their ideas they spread, tired old ones, talk to them, have a structured dialogue. All of it was in place. All of this was happening. And what would happen after that? Was that leading to any kind of a solution? They keep talking about people to people talk. Please, I have continuously asked, please give me an audit of people to people. What has it ever solved? Did you create a single constituency in Pakistan that actually was able to impose itself and was able to change the behavior of the Pakistani state? No, you haven't. So this, you want to keep, beating the same old drum. You will keep getting the same old results. And which is why I think if this is not a fifth column, then they fit the Einstein definition of insanity, because they want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they expect a different result every time. It's not going to happen until and unless Pakistan remains the kind of Islamized, jihadized state that it is. You simply cannot have peace with that country.
Absolutely, and which is why it's obnoxious, Sanjay Jha. Why can't you see it? Suddenly, when you write a joint letter, it is abhorring to even have an Indian mass that is wanting to write a letter in conjunction with Pakistani people. And I also, the third, discrepancy that you said in your statement, you're still asking questions from the government to respond to what happened in Operation Sindoor, but you are willing to believe Pakistan at face value. Kahan se aaye ho, bhai?
Well, Navika, two quick points. Number one, despite the fact that Mr. Modi's government has refused to engage with Pakistan.
It is the Indian government, it is our government.
Well, here is the tactical point. Could you stop Pulwama? Could you stop Pahalgam? Could you stop the Red Fort? No. So cross-border terrorism, and to believe that, you cannot engage and because of the terrorism is a policy that is not paying dividends for you either. You're still vulnerable as before. On the Indus Water Treaty, please note, China has great strategic upstream advantages over us on the Brahmaputra River. There is already an open call that, listen, if India were to continue doing what it is doing on the Indus Water Treaty, which is making water security into a weaponized tool, at some point this might boomerang against us because it's going to be on a human catastrophe issue. And China can truly leverage its own strengths upstream on the rivers.
You don't want to look at your own backyard in Kashmir and you're worried about China. And if something happens there, you'll say, oh, the government did not act. Everywhere the government is failing. Two hands going up. Coming to you, Sushant. Anand first.
No, number one, let's talk about facts. Of course, you can never ever prevent each and every terror attack. But you look at numbers. That is what sensible people do, Sanjay. And the fact is, ever since we have declared Pakistan not in so many words a terror state, stopped doing any interaction with them, our terror attacks on this side of the soil have reduced by 80% in Jammu and Kashmir, elsewhere in the country. So we are going by statistics. Number two, can you name me one country with which China has a similar water treaty as we had with Pakistan? There are 17 countries with which China shares the river water. Not one downstream country has a pact with China, but we did, because we were, woke in the time when even word did not exist to give away everything to Pakistan.
No, 2611 was prevented, Sanjay Jha, but Vivek Srivastava, I just want to ask one question. And that question is, when Operation Sindoor is still on, officially it's on, Why do Indians have the nerve to even pick up and write a letter of this kind? I want to ask you, what gives you the confidence that Pakistan, which incidentally at Shoaib Akhtar, a cricketer's brother's funeral, sees Lashkar-e-Toiba people, you know, they're part of the society, they are part of the Pakistani state. If that is the Pakistan that we are talking about, why should we do any business with Pakistan? Its colors are known.
Yes, you are already doing business with Pakistan, number one, not directly but indirectly via Dubai and Singapore. And you can check the volume of the business. Everybody knows about it. So it's already going on. Number two, I feel on humanitarian grounds we must give water to Pakistan. The Chinese are saying that if they do the same to us by making a dam on Brahmaputra, how will we react? So, I mean, everything that has to be done, it doesn't have to be like a give and a take. Number three,
humanitarian. What happened in Pahalgam was humanitarian? No, what happened in Pahalgam was humanitarian?
Start interacting. I support the Sangh in this. There should be more cultural exchanges. We must play cricket. We must have more, actors coming from both the sides, including the artists, the singers. It should be done. You cannot change your neighbors. You can change your friends. You do not have good relations with Pakistan. You don't have it with China. You don't have it with Bangladesh. Nepal and Bhutan are going the China way. Sri Lanka is isolated. आप खड़े कहाँ हैं भाई? And Operation Sindoor जारी है, लेकिन edge किसको मिला? एंटी टेररिस्ट फ्रंट को हेड कौन कर रहा है यूनाइटेड?
आप जाइए आसिम मुनीर के साथ बैठिए.
आप उसको टेररिस्ट स्टेट कह रहे हैं.
सुशांत सरीन, रतन शारदा coming to you. Sushant Sarin.
So, two very quick points. One, I think Vivek has just got himself a ticket to the next India-Pakistan junket, wherever it is held. And maybe, his impassioned appeal, he can even get a first-class ticket, apart from a five-star hotel. But on the other point that he was making on this China thing, has China stopped building the dam on the Brahmaputra river? Has China taken us into confidence on the dam that it has built on the Brahmaputra river? Or for that matter, the dam it has built on the Satluj, or for that matter, the dam it has built on the Indus River, which the Pakistanis, they are such low-life creeps, they will never talk of the dams that the Chinese have built on the Indus waters, on the Indus River, right, which comes from inside China. Not from China, actually from Tibet, but Chinese-occupied Tibet. They never talk about that. The Brahmaputra dam is already being built, so these threats which everybody is holding out to us, the Chinese are already doing it. But the fact of the matter remains
that they want China to be our teacher. They want us to be worried about China, be scared of Pakistan, be scared of China, and that is their solution.
They have not stopped your water.
No, and that is the solution they have to offer as far as solving our terror problem is concerned. But Ratan Sharda, everybody picks up this argument about the RSS. The RSS is involved in track 2, the RSS wants dialogue, the RSS thinks terror is one story, dialogue is a separate story, they should both go hand in hand. Do you think this hypocrisy is why everybody is pointing fingers at the government and at the foreign policy that India is following in current times?
Navika, actually I'm worried because these peaceniks are trying to hang their ideas onto the hook of RSS, which they can't advise.
You should be worried, Ratan Sharda. Make no mistake, you should be worried because the RSS has made such noises that they should worry about where they stand.
Yes, so can I speak now?
Yes, sir.
You're very angry, can I speak now? See, I have seen RSS history of resolutions on Pakistan, China, Nepal, Lanka, etc., etc. It has never been peacenik resolutions. They have always opposed talking to people who are sending terror or war on us. And this is a new stance which I am a little surprised by, and I cannot justify that as yet. But I can say they didn't ask for diplomatic connections. They didn't ask for stopping any action against the terror states at all. They said people-to-people contact. Now coming to the other ideas. For example, by completely giving up, see, attitude of Sanjay Jha and Vivek is so defeatist. They're normalizing terror attacks. They're normalizing wars. Every Indian Prime Minister all through has always tried to have good relations with Pakistan. But for Modi ji, who tried his best, but then dealing Pakistan and India totally and said we will not talk to them. From a relevant country, it has become irrelevant country in the world. Offering a table like a waiter does not make Pakistani a star, like Sanjay wants to believe us. And what did 1959 Tibet gave us? Panchsheel. What did 1960 Dam gave us? War on India. What did 98 Lahore bus gave us? They gave us Kargil. So Pakistan is a terror machine. And unless they are made, there are some conditions to what talks we do, it doesn't mean anything to me. There has to be clear-cut guidelines under which talks can be held. To have unconditional talks with Pakistan without any preconditions to it doesn't work at all. And we have to have a clear-cut policy. We cannot just have candles there and say we'll have talk or not.
But you said, Ratan Sharda, that you are these days confused about where RSS stands. Are you also confused?
I want some better explanation, I would say, because as I said, I don't mind having talks, but those talks cannot be at the cost.
Exactly. And that is the whole reason. You know, if there is hypocrisy on the other side, then the hypocrisy on the RSS is the most surprising hypocrisy. Sushant.
No, my only one question to the RSS people is that when they say that we should have people to people, please tell us which people you want to have to talk with. What is the worth of those people who will come and talk to you? They are loud mouths who come and, you know, for example, Hina Rabbani Khan. I'll tell you something. She has been messaging people, okay, in India, talking about let's have conversations, let's talk to each other, and reasonableness personified. And yet, when she stands on a stage inside her own country, she's breathing fire. The duplicity of these Pakistanis is also there in the so-called people to people that the RSS is advocating. The RSS should educate itself on the people of Pakistan before talking about people to people contacts with Pakistan. Their ignorance was reflected to an astounding level when they mentioned what they mentioned. And I suspect that they try to, you know, kind of retrace their steps by saying, no, we don't want diplomatic ties. We are talking about people to people. Why don't they come out clearly and say which people they want to have a conversation?
Absolutely well said, but Tausif Ahmed Khan has signed the letter.
Just 5 seconds.
Tausif Ahmed Khan, may I ask you, who contacted you to sign this letter?
Navika, I don't believe that resuming discussion with Pakistan means that we are weak.
I'm asking you, who approached you to sign this letter, sir? Who approached you to sign this letter?
Perhaps, Navika, perhaps you are not aware that this people-to-people connect and this initiative by the citizens to bring peace a chance has always been there. It's been this initiative has been going on from more than 3 decades.
Time
and again, such request has come. And what is the request?
Who called you or who mailed you or who messaged you to sign
Navika,
this?
Please do not interrupt me.
No, I'm asking you a question. Your gyan in the letter I have read. I want to know who contacted you.
I'm answering you. Be patient.
India से कॉल आया था कि पाकिस्तान से?
No, you be patient. You want an answer, be patient.
I have become a patient after seeing that letter.
Be patient if you want an answer. So India and Pakistan together is a home to 1/5 of humanity.
Yes, sir.
More than nearly about
what happened in Pahalgam was inhuman. Who called you? Who called you, sir? Call from Pakistan or call from India? Call from Pakistan or call from India?
Navika, if you keep heckling me,
I'm not heckling you.
Navika, if you keep heckling
I am asking a simple question from the minute I have come to you. I'm asking you one question and one question only.
And I'm telling you have to be patient.
भाई मैं बन गई हूँ patient. BP मेरा high हो गया है.
There is a privilege motion.
Punjabi, don't do this.
No. It is because of the media that the people suffer. What does this letter ask for? What is this appeal?
I have read the letter, sir. I'm carrying a copy of the letter. understand.
of the
I can read English, I can write English, I can walk English, I can talk English. I know what you have written in the letter. I'm asking you.
You may not believe.
I am asking
Navika,
you who
you
called
may not
you.
believe. Navika, you may not believe, but I believe that peace, dialogue and cooperation.
Yes, I do not believe that this has anything to do with peace, my friend. I'm sorry, I have become cynical maybe, but does this have anything to do with peace?
India becomes weak.
Does this have anything to do with peace, Sushant Sareen?
That is your own thinking and that's wrong.
No, it doesn't. But Navika, I think you asked him the question and his poor guy is feeling embarrassed. He cannot
tell the appeal says
whether he got the call from India or from Pakistan. Right? And my question to him is, why are they so shameless that they never even mentioned the word terrorism in this letter?
Exposing yourself.
Isn't that an issue?
When you say,
wasn't that the issue
my
that
friend,
almost brought both the countries?
the letter exposes you so badly you don't realize, Anand Ranganathan, if they are so transparent, why can't they say who contacted them to become joint signatories on such a dastardly letter that has been written?
Politicians create.
Yeah, Navika, first of all, you are one of the 3 hardcore Punjabis on the panel. Please do not get hyper because BP की problem होती है पंजाबी को. वो देखियो बाकी दोनों सर हिला रहे हैं अपना. Number 1, very quickly, I have no hesitation in talking or having a people-to-people contact with Pakistan. I am telling you, डंके की चोट पे. Provided headline में लिख दो, talking to the people of the terror state of Pakistan. अगर ये हिम्मत है, क्योंकि हम टेररिस्ट से बात कर सकते हैं कि भाई अपना टेरर कम करो, देयर इज नो हेजिटेशन एट ऑल, जस्ट से डिक्लेयर पाकिस्तान अ टेरर स्टेट, आई कैन टॉक. एंड नंबर 2, एक जो पीडीपी के पैनलिस्ट हैं, नो वंडर ही वांट्स टॉक्स बिकॉज व्हेन टेररिस्ट लाइक नसरल्ला डाइड दे सस्पेंडेड देयर कैंपेन, दे वर कंडोलिंग द डेथ ऑफ टेररिस्ट लाइक नसरल्ला, सो दे वांट टू प्लेकेट टेररिज्म.
Absolutely, and nobody gets taken in by this. In fact, we did a survey. We asked people, those batting for talks with Pakistan, are they forgetting Pahalgam? Yes, say 89%. No, say 7%. Can't say 4%. That's the mood in India. You can't betray your own. And this letter is nothing short of a betrayal of Indians, of those people who lost their lives in Pahalgam, and those people who are betraying their armed forces that undertook Operation Sindoor. This is their betrayal, and therefore the paper on which it is written and signed is a paper that's not worth looking at. And if anybody now during Operation Sindoor wants to have a joint agenda with Pakistan, well, I don't know कौन सा खून दौड़ रहा है, भारत का या पाकिस्तान का. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists joining me on debate number 1.